Cobalt Blue, published by Hamish Hamilton in 2013, is Jerry Pinto's English translation of Sachin Kundalkar's Cobalt Blue Marathi novel published in 2006. Sachin Kundalkar is a popular playwright, movie director, and screenplay writer. Cobalt Blue, published in 2006, is his debut novel written in his early 20s. It is a tale of rapturous love and fierce heartbreak told with tenderness and unsparing clarity. Cobalt Blue, a brief novel, centers around the Joshis, a conservative Brahmin middle class family living in Pune, primarily in the early years of the new millennium. The basic story depicts the interactions of brother and sister Tane Joshi and Anuja Joshi, whose lives are changed forever when a paying guest comes to remain in Joshi's household. The first section of the novel is an internal monologue, Tane's direct message to the nameless paid guest with whom he has a romantic homosexual relationship. The second part of the novel is Anuja's diary, where she writes about her love affair with the same paying guest. The enigmatic paying visitor drove both Tanay and Anuja, and the novel is a record of their lamentations. Mr. and Mrs. Joshi, a middle class worker and a housewife, worked hard to bring up their three children, Asim, Tanay, and Anuja. Although Asim is a conformist, Tanay and Anuja are revolutionaries who want separate lives. Mr. Joshi, Baba or father in Marathi, and Mrs. Joshi, Ai or mother in Marathi, give Tanay and Anuja independence, but little do they realize their children would end up doing something they never dreamed of. Mrs. Joshi, Baba, decides to rent their room upstairs to paying guests. As a result of this, a handsome young man gets into the Joshi household as a paying guest. From the very beginning, everything seems to indicate he is something different. No name, no caste, no village, no relatives. A French Indian diplomat's orphaned son. He has lived long since he was 15. His magical paintings, his friends, his music, his charismatic persona and charm make him stand out. Well versed in international literature, art, music, and culture, he charms everyone with his ability to mix and listen to them patiently and attentively for hours. He is the one ever ready to help, the one from whom everyone likes to confess their sorrows and draw consolation. He remains shy, elusive, introverted as ever. He is master of his own fate, captain of his own plane, a wild bird who lives life on his own terms without worrying about the planet. Precisely, these qualities attract Tanay and Anuja to the same individual unknown to each other. Being gay, he and Tanay are physically drawn together. Tanay, who lives a double life hidden except to his own kin, with no one to comprehend him, discovers a real soulmate in the paying guest and wishes to stay with him forever. Tanay learns to be truly free, to love life to the fullest, to live for one's own sake, to find happiness in every moment. But all this ends abruptly when the paying guest elopes with his sister Anuja. Broken Tanay has no one to express his sorrow and he mourns alone lyrically for he lost part of his own self with the paying guest's departure. The second part of the novel begins with Anuja's diary. She sets about her own observations of the psychiatrist's recommendation, who is treating her for extreme depression after the paid guest had found her. Anuja, a colorful tomboyish girl, a wanderer, trekker, and environmental activist, will never reconcile as a typical Indian woman with a history of glorified slavery. He finds a man who is different in the paying guest, who can give her space while taking care of her, a man who supports her dreams, teaches her music, makes her laugh. She is profoundly drawn and possessive. One day they elope to the unknown place and she has 6 months of paradise with him. One day, without informing her, suddenly he disappears. She does not have any option except to return to her parents' home. Since she does not dare to take her own life, she swallows the insults and humiliation. She improves gradually with her family's support. Cobalt Blue is a story of enthusiastic youth of the modern age. This covers many current situations like breaking gender stereotypes, homosexuality, child abuse, feminism, art, environmental activism, familial relations, man woman relationship, marriage versus open relationships, loss of innocence and coming of age, generation gap, culture clash, satire on Indian social orthodoxy and hypocrisy, disadvantages of Western liberal culture, the problematic concept of freedom, etc. Cobalt Blue, through focusing on a contemporary existential dilemmas, wonders whether true love and fidelity actually exist, whether partnerships are to be measured by durability or consistency.